Yo, what's good, everyone? It's Austin here with Aura Luna. So, today's story time. Definitely an interesting one and a crazy one. I think you'll enjoy it. If you do, leave a like on the video. And let's just jump right into this because I don't really know how to intro this. So, today's story time all takes place when I was 19 years old. So, a few years ago, okay? Now, when I was 19 years old, my life was pretty much the same as it was now. My daily routine was pretty much the same. I would wake up any hour of the day, work on YouTube videos. After I was done with my videos, get food, and then kind of go out with my friends and try to live life and maybe create some more story times. You know what I mean? So, anyway, this all starts off as a normal day for 19-year-old Luna. I wake up, I'm in my room, working on a YouTube video, first thing in the morning. It was like probably 10 a.m. And I was up pretty early for, 19-year-old me's schedule and regular me's schedule. So I'm in my room working on a video, and one of my friends hits me up. Let's just call his friend Jake, okay? Jake texts me. He's like, yo, what are you doing? I was like, I'm working on a YouTube vid. How about you? He's like, not much, just bored. Want to get some food? I was like, I can't right now, man, but like, give me an hour. So an hour goes by. Jake comes over. Me and him go and get some food. And while we're at this place getting breakfast, Jake looks at me, and he's like, yo, what are you doing tonight? I was like, nothing. Why? He's like, well, I'm having a little party for my birthday tonight. You should come over, bring some people. You can bring whoever you want. I'm just trying to get as many heads there as I can. And I was like, shit, it's your birthday? He's like, nah, not for another week, but I'm celebrating it early. I was like, oh, shit, well, happy early birthday. He's like, thanks, man, but for real, like, come through tonight, bring whoever you want, like, let's have fun. I was like, yeah, man, you got it. So, fast forward to like 6 p.m. that night, I hit up a bunch of my friends. I'd say about 6 or 7 of them, and only 3 of them could go. But that was still, a good amount of people, in my opinion, to bring to a party. And they came to my house. They met me at my house first. And then we all got in one car and Ubered there together. So we get to the party, and the party started off like any regular party. Just a lot of people, loud music, people talking, having fun, doing whatever they do at a party. And yeah, for the most part, nothing out of the ordinary. The first hour of it was pretty much normal. But then on hour 2 of this party is where the story time really kicks off, okay? So hour 2 into the party, first 2 hours, all of a sudden, Jake's dad walks in the front door. Now, Jake's dad wasn't supposed to be home this night. He was supposed to be out on like a trip or something. Jake told me he wouldn't be home all night. So when he came in through the front door and I saw him there, standing there, I was like, that's not good. He's probably going to be mad, right? Total opposite. So Jake's dad walks in the door, sees all these people in his kitchen and his living room, all over his house, partying, and he smiles. He gets the biggest grin on his face I've ever seen when someone walks into their 19-year-old son throwing a birthday party without their permission. And he sees me, Jake's dad, and he runs up to me. He's like, Austin, how you doing, man? I was like, good. How are you doing? How you been? He's like, good. I didn't know Jake was throwing a party. Like, it's so cool to see all of his friends here. Now, Jake's dad was usually not this happy about parties at his house. Like, we've thrown parties at his house before, and he was not nearly as excited or happy as he was those times. Like, those times, he was mad. So to see him happy about it seemed really weird. But at the same time, I was like, you know what? Jake's 19 now. He's an adult. Like, those parties were a long time ago. Maybe now that Jake's an adult, his dad doesn't really care that he's throwing parties. That was my assumption. I even asked him. I was like, yo, are you cool with this? Like, this is okay with you? He's like, oh, yeah, I love Jake's friends. Like, you guys can come by anytime. So, I don't know. I guess he was cool with it now. Little did I know him being cool with it meant a whole other problem would spawn. So fast forward 30 minutes into Jake's dad being at this party and seeing everybody there, I see Jake. And I'm like, Jake, you know your dad's here? He's like, yeah, he came in like 30 minutes ago. Like, he's fine about it. He doesn't really care. I'm like, yeah, but like, why is he so cool about it now? Like, he used to like get really mad. And Jake's like, honestly, man, I don't know. My dad's a mysterious person. Like, sometimes he's mad, sometimes he's not. He's really like 50-50. You never know what you're going to get with him. I was like, yeah, I guess that's right. So anyway, fast forward 30 minutes later, now we're about an hour into Jake's dad being at this party. This is when things get bad. So an hour into Jake's dad being at this party, he gets really drunk. He drinks a lot, more than I've ever seen him drink in my life. And he's shit-faced within an hour of being there. Like, the most shit-faced I've ever seen someone's dad get before, ever. And he runs up to me. He's like, Austin, I love you so much, man. You're one of my favorite friends Jake has. I'm like, hey, you're really drunk. And he's like, oh, a little bit. How you doing? I was like, I'm good. How are you doing? He's like, I'm fucking great. And then I just decided to make some small talk, and I was like, oh, where's your wife? Because Jake's mom wasn't there, and his dad was, so I thought that was odd. Like, his parents weren't divorced, so usually they would go everywhere together. So seeing just his dad at this party and not his mom was strange to me. So I asked him where she was. And he's like, oh, yeah, she stayed an extra night where we were on vacation. She's staying there with her girlfriend. She's playing some poker. She'll be back tomorrow. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Well, can't wait to see her too. And, just making bullshit small talk, right? So anyway, Jake's dad goes away and gets lost in the crowd. He's shit-faced. He's hammered. I thought it was funny. And I didn't think much of it, right? Well, then fast forward about an hour later, okay? At this point, I'm with some friends. I'm in a group of friends just talking, listening to the music, enjoying myself. And I start getting a little bit anxious. The music's really loud, got a lot of people around me. I just start to feel a little bit, too overwhelmed. So I decide to go for a walk around the house and try and find a room with some peace and quiet, whether it's Jake's room, the guest room, wherever, right? So I go to Jake's room, I go to open the door, he has it locked. So I'm like, okay, the guest room's probably unlocked. So I walk over to the guest room, I crack the door open to make sure the light's not on and that no one's in there. I crack the door open, it's pitch black. That confirms to me that nobody's in there. And then I swing the door open to a sight that I never thought I would see in my 19 years of living, ever. I open the door and see Jake's dad and a girl I went to high school with making out on the bed. I thought I was tripping. I thought someone put something in my drink and I was tripping for a second. I was like, whoa, what the fuck? And they both turn and look at me and immediately jump backwards and stop making out. And Jake's dad's like, oh, Austin, what's up, buddy? And I was like, what the fuck are you doing? She's like 19 years old, bro. You're fucking 50. Like, what are you doing? He's like, oh, nothing, man. Like, it's all consensual. We're adults. I'm like, dude, you're fucking 50 years old. She's 19. Like, she could be your fucking daughter. Like, listen. Yeah, at the end of the day, what they both were doing was technically legal. Yeah, adults, consensual, whatever. But like, bro, 19 and 50, I just think that's pretty fucking weird. So immediately, Jake's dad runs up to me and pulls me into the other room. And he's like, Austin, you can't tell Jake about this, man. He'll never forgive me. I was like, dude, you are drunk. You are out of control. You are being disgraceful tonight. Like, this is ridiculous. That's one of our friends in there that you're with. Like, what are you thinking? You have a fucking wife. What are you doing? Like, I have to tell Jake. There's no way I can't. He's like, Austin, what is it? What do you want? You want money? You want something? Like, I'll pay you right now to not tell him. This motherfucker was trying to bribe me. And I was like, I'm sorry, sir. Like, I can't not tell him about this. Like, you have to live with your mistake. I'm sorry. And I walk away. To which he grabs my arm and tries to pull me back. And I immediately break his grip. And I'm like, don't fucking touch me. Get the fuck away from me. And I walk downstairs and I find Jake. Now I pull Jake into another room. And he's like, yo, what's up, man? Like, you seem upset. I'm like, dude, I am upset. Like, I don't know how to tell you what I'm about to tell you, but I'm going to have to. He's like, what is it? I'm like, I just saw this girl, and I said her name, girl went to our school, and your dad making out in the guest room. I have no other way to put it. Like, that's what I saw. It happened. Your dad begged me not to tell you, but I have to tell you. And he's like, fuck. Like, he didn't even say, like, are you joking? He didn't say, like, are you messing with me? Like, he just immediately sighed and believed me, which kind of made me concerned. I was like, is this something he's done before? So I asked him that. And he's like, nah, man, he hasn't done it with anyone that's like 19 or 20, but he's definitely cheated on my mom before. Like, I've caught him. And I was like, dude, I'm so fucking sorry. Like, I had no idea. I thought the relationship was like perfect. He's like, nah, man, not even close. Like, they've been talking about separating for a long time, but this is definitely going to seal the deal. And I was like, are you going to tell your mom? He's like, yeah, man, of course. And yeah, needless to say, by the next day, his dad was moving out of the house. He was gone. Don't get me wrong, Jake and him still kept in touch, but they separated, his mom and him. And I felt fucking terrible. I did. Like, I felt horrible. But at the same time, like, I didn't want to sit there and let that live in my head rent-free and not tell Jake about it or not tell anybody about it, because then I feel like I was doing the wrong thing. Like, I'd just be letting them live with that lie. But nah, man, Jake was upset about it, obviously, but he thanked me a bunch of times for telling him, and he was glad that it worked out the way it did, because honestly speaking, Jake didn't like his dad very much. Not like he hated him or anything, but he did not like the way that his dad treated his mom, because he would cheat on her and he would, go out all hours of the night and go to bars and stuff. And he was just unloyal as a husband. And like, when you see that in your own family, like, that's not cool. But anyway, yeah. As for the girl that Jake's dad was making out with, I saw her later that night at the party when I caught them. And I just asked her nicely. I was like, hey, like, you okay? And she's like, yeah, why? I was like, well, earlier that was a little bit awkward, me catching you guys. Like, just want to make sure he didn't, like, manipulate you into doing that or anything. And she's like, no, he didn't. I just think he's really hot for his age. And I was like, oh, okay, fair enough. And I walked away because I just didn't know what to say to that. Yeah, it was just a fucking awkward array of problems. Anyway, that's pretty much where that story time ended. Parents split up. Jake's parents split. They stayed friends. They just lived in separate houses. And Jake was actually a lot happier. I can't lie. Like, when his dad moved out, the relationship between him and his dad got a lot better, and so did his mom. And it was a good thing. Honestly, as much as it sucked, it was a good thing in the end. But yeah, moral of this story is, if you're married to somebody, don't cheat on them. And if you're in your 50s and watching this, which I doubt anybody is, but if you are, just don't go and do what Jake's dad did. That was so creepy. But yeah, guys, hope you enjoyed this story time. I thought it was a pretty crazy one. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like on the video. I'd really appreciate it. Feel free to leave your story times in the comments down below, and subscribe if you're new. I'll see you guys all tomorrow. Peace.
Like, what's up? They leave me out for the dead, and now they know they're fucked. All my texts are unread, that's how